Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is TGIF. It's Friday. The week is coming to an end. And the same story each day seems to be, it just does not quit. I mean, I cannot watch even the channels that I watch, the news sources that I watch. They talk like as if the election is like 10 days away. I've never seen this before. It's the later part of August, and they're talking about this election like it's going to be in like a week and a half. I mean, they're just excited. They're excited in an odd sense, like excited that they need it to come, and they want it now. And they dissect and nitpick at every little turn, and it's just absurd. And I think the market, to me, the market is following it or leading it, or I don't know, take your choice at this point. It's one or the other, but they, without a doubt. I mean, let's close this and open this. I'm just going to show you what the intraday start of the market looks like at this point in time. Let's see, right there it is, Q3, and it just amazes me every day. I've never seen it like this in my, honestly, 40 some odd years involved in politics. I've never seen it like this. My 40 some odd years in the markets, I've never seen it like this. It did remind me of 1995, when the Republicans took the House of Representatives for the first time in 50 years. And it was like something odd, like in 1995, when they took the House, it was like 48 years. They had not had a majority in the House since like 1928 or something like that. And so it was just Eisenhower, and I guess it was 50. It was the election of Eisenhower in 52, I guess it would be. And that did it. It lasted for a whole 2 years and then rolled right back into the Democrats again. But this time, since Ronald Reagan, it has altered the landscape. Ronald Reagan kind of helped to flip the southern states to be Republican for the first time since the Civil War, and where I guess you'd say 1871. And so when that happened, that was a stunning upset. The Republicans got the presidency and the Senate at the same time. It was kind of surprising and stunning, and opened the doorway for a massive change of our economy. And here, Mr. Trump did the same thing in 2016. Only this time it was even more threatening. And so I guess the country is so frustrated with the way government is functioning, and so frustrated with what they're watching constantly, of everything going on. It must be that's why they cannot turn their heads, and basically, to me, I don't understand, how the country cannot change at this point. In other words, there's just such great frustration, incredible frustration. And when I have traders this morning, sending me texts and saying, Rabini said this, and and so forth and so on, and it's like, a V bottom, or it's just incredible. I don't know, just an incredible excitement of frustration. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's an incredible frustration of excitement. It's the weirdest thing, very weird. And every pro that I talk to who reaches out to me to try to find out, how do we measure this? What is going on? I keep on telling them the same thing I'm saying to you right now out loud. These markets are pretty much, to a great extent, in a sideways up chop, anticipating the election. That's literally what it is. They're anticipating the election. The classic buy on rumor, sell on news, and that's what they're doing. They're slowly buying it on rumor, at this point in time. And one of the only Fed governors, or I guess it's Governor Ballard, it made some sense. He came out and he said, look, We're going to, we want to raise 0.75 again in September. And I think, it's very clear that the market has been thinking, well, maybe not. A lot of the inflation is administratively created. And so they're thinking like, well, Republicans get in there, they'll stop all this inflation just by stopping Mr. Biden's policies. So that's the way I can only see the market. And it's been in a drift up for about 7 weeks now. I mean, it's very odd. Let's see, all through July, almost all through June, this market, let's just go over to the daily. We're going to start off more with the on the J4X of the where is it at? There it is. Let's put up the S&P 500. And there's the S&P 500. Mid-July, and you can see it bottomed out with those lows in late or mid-June. There was the lows, and it's been making higher lows to a great extent all the rest of the way. And it does, let me fix it so you can see that, and we'll put it over there on J4X too at the same time. We'll come back to the currencies in a few seconds. But, I can only measure markets through the numbers itself. In other words, my opinion of what's doing this is what I just said. But when you look at that bottom right there in mid-June, there was a confirmation at that time that the Republicans were going to basically take the House with no problem and probably take the Senate. And it could be as outlandish as like 280 or 290, a super majority that just has not been seen since 1871. And, I mention it here, but I don't know if I'm always clear enough, to tell you, describe the insanity of this thirst. Just that's the answer to all this. That's it. And I don't understand any other way of describing the markets. None whatsoever. I have no other way of describing them. We only follow the math here. We know one thing is for sure. It went into the buy, and it's been in the buy since that 3,800, 37 and change area on the S&Ps, and we've been flirting off and on with the the 43 area. Now we're at 42 and a half basically, and you can see there. Let's just put that right there. You can see it right there on our work. It's trying. It's really trying to lift up, and I really think that this is the classic buy on rumor. I don't see it any other way, and that rumor is what I just suggested, and there's no way of discounting that anymore. And probably if I wouldn't wake up and go to bed every night with the same noise in my ear, and that is, they're talking about the elections throughout the evening. They're talking about them throughout the morning. It's a main theme. I've never seen an August and July with such drive, and June with such drive about the election. In June, it was almost, 5 months away? June, July, August, September, and October. 5 months away. And they were talking like as if it was going to happen tomorrow morning. I mean, I've never seen this. Never. And I'm involved in politics. I'm actively involved in politics. I've been a campaign manager, a chairman of a region, so forth and so on. This is, I don't know how else to understand what we're seeing in these markets, but what I suggest. So, and the math keeps on backing it up. That's the weird part, is that the markets just keep on driving further and further up. So, anyhow, and then yesterday I was really surprised. Let's get back to the currencies. Well, I was really surprised yesterday. I saw the, where's that dollar index again? I saw the, the dollar was weakening against, we talked about it, was weakening against all the pairs trades. By the end of the day, the euro got smashed. Let's take a look at the euro. right there. I mean, they just smashed it. This thing was flirting with a daily buy. The histogram was through the zero line. The green line was piercing up, and we had a green dot going. And then by the end of the day, smash. And are they really going to go after the lows again? Break the century mark again? I guess. It is the weirdest times I've ever seen. Weirdest times ever. Weirdest times. I don't have anything other way to describe these times. And just watch and see, and watch our math, and that's pretty much the way it goes. All right, there is the dollar index. Let's jump over to the euro with the Chicago J4X itself. Right there, and you can see just all that red. We're down at the lows, you can see that, and I guess it has more room if it wants to go lower. That low is lower, and that low there was lower. So we'll see what they do with it, see if it tries to land somewhere in the middle there. Obviously, the markets are saying that they feel very comfortable in the Forex market, that the dollar is well worth buying because the interest rates are going to rise even more. That seems to be the recipe of it all at this point in time. So, I just look at it and just shake my head and go, wow, just wow. What else can you say? All right. Now, from the euro, let's take a peek at the British pound. British pound took it even harder on the chin, which was a surprise to me. Wow, that's one of the lower points we've seen this thing, and that's you can see here. It's really going after the number. It's in that daily sell and the weekly sell, and I guess that's why we keep on seeing that weekly sell. There is no real buyers at the moment. They think rates are going up. There's just no. I mean, right now I have to stop and say it. That's all they have on the financial channels. Yes, I'm looking at another conversation about the election and Trump. It just doesn't stop. It's amazing. I look over, there it is. It's like, they're not talking about a particular company or a stock or, even the recession. They talk about the recession. They think it's, as I just said to you, they see it as energy driven and policy driven. So they think that, if this major change comes that we think we're going to see, all of a sudden America is going to be a place to be long in. You want to be long it, not short it, that's for sure. So from there, we go from that to, let's take a look at the Swiss. Right there. Let's just finish off the cable right there real quick. There it is there. You can see that. Look at it. They're going after that area. This is taking out these lows here. And then let's take a look at the Swiss. Right there. And it's marching back up again. That was interesting. We're up in the par area. Fell down to the 93 and change area, and now we're marching back up to 90, almost 96. We're at 95.67 at the moment. 68 now. This is a very interesting, I guess you could say, extension of that long channel we've been in with the Swiss. It's now developed a higher range, I guess. There could be, obviously, there's a couple different things you think about when you're trying to price currencies. The fundamentals have become somewhat unfunctionable, but you still got to believe that some of them have some life in them. And you have, I guess the best way to describe it is that the flight, not the safety as much as dealing with inflation and higher interest rates, and I guess only Only certain places are going to be able to match the Federal Reserve on that whole circus act. It's very hard. The U.S. government is, or the U.S. Federal Reserve. It's not the U.S. Well, the U.S. government's just as bad, but the Federal Reserve is just hooked on the idea of stability, keeping interest rates relatively low, keeping the economy at least firm on some level, no matter what policy is generated. And there's not much more that can be done or thought about in less than that fashion right there. Let's see what this is. Just got another text. There we are. And from there, let's jump over to, we saw the Turkish lira yesterday, and we saw that yesterday where it was cleanly through the 38. I imagine it's still doing that, so we'll take a look at that right here. And there is dollar Turkish lira right there. They don't seem to be able to stall it, can they? Right there on J4X. Trading at 1810, basically at all-time highs with the dollar. It's those string of pearls, those yellow pearls we've been watching for a while. You can see right there, that was that spike up, and then they gave out free puts from there, which was a great policy. And I have no idea. We have not really seen any news. A lot of this movement up was when they kind of made it clear that the inflation rate was 180% last year, or that quarter, or something like that in Turkey. We had some people come on to the webinar that are from Turkey, and they said, "Hey, guess what? The government's trying to make it hard for us to buy dollars." So that could be part of the problem, but it doesn't. That you would think the dollar would go down against it, not up. Someone just mentioned. There we go. Let me just answer that one right there. No, that's not it. Let's do this. There we go. All right, so that's the dollar Turkish lira, which seems to function like a index. And basically, I would suggest is we take much closer and trust more the euro Turkish lira right there. You see, it trades more like a currency, and the all-time high is like almost 21. You can see it's hanging out at the 18s, which is really odd to watch this thing almost trade at parity with the dollar. In other words, the Turkish lira against the euro and the dollar against the lira are almost at the same price, which says something odd. It's like the premium has shrunk. It was like 3 handles before. Now it's literally pennies, just ticks away. So, at this point in time, let's see, where's it? There it is right there. I guess the only way to really describe, let's see, let's try this. Copy. Gotta send this over to somebody real quick. There we go. And so, let's see, what else can we say about that? And let's put it over here on J4X too. Right there. It's down at the lows, that's for sure. Interesting. Wow. Trying to go after these lows here in the sense of, in the stochastic. And you can see it was a wonderful run up. But the lows have been, choppy. and not very strong. And it's been slow and steady, a consistent drive in one direction. Yeah, Robin, I'm totally confounded at this whole thing anymore, in the sense of, I cannot believe this constant drumbeat every day. I guess America must be really frustrated. Some of the things I've seen is just astonishing when it comes to the polling and so forth. I don't understand how the media can even I told you yesterday, the media has been doing weird things. I mentioned it yesterday in the webinar. CNN and MSNBC, or was that MSNBC, basically starting to actually report news, which is odd. Why would they do that? I mean, I don't understand it. They've been a mouthpiece for this machine for decades. And so, 15, 20, 25 years, they've been a machine to just project one image. But I guess they're laying off so many people. Now they've just laid off that fellow that had a show yesterday after we talked about it, to say the least. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the weirder things I've ever seen. I had one of the some of the old traders contact me, and I'm talking about that makes us look like kids. They're Leo Malamed age type of things, and one of them today tried to say to me, look at Rubini, about the market. What do you think of this market today? Because they're still trading it. They're in their 80s and their 90s, and they're still trading this market every day. They flip things here and they flip them there. It keeps them. I guess it keeps them alive. Yeah, they've lost the audience a long time ago. I guess was it Time Warner? I think it's Time Warner that bought them all, and so I don't think they want to pay for I think they want to actually make money with it. They were always willing to lose money on them because they distributed out the risk, because it was part of Comcast, or it was part of what's that other one? The telecommunications company. Was it Time? No, was it the one that bought AOL? Time, I guess it was at one point, or something like that, or was it AT&T? I guess it was AT&T. So I guess they really want to earn money. CNN and MSNBC and so forth. I guess they're interested in trying to make money now instead of just projecting the propaganda for all these decades. I guess that's the only way I can figure it out. Oh yeah, and the CDC scandal is, I guess, all of them are. Everything they talked about in this media here in the States is falling apart. The hoaxes and the Russian hoax and the Ukrainian hoax of Trump, and then Fast and Furious and all this stuff under Obama. It's all coming to an end, it seems like. And and I guess they really want to not close these channels. I guess they're hoping that they can keep them alive, on some level, if they just start to report some information. I guess that's what's going on. I don't know. It's, to me, like I said, none of this is beyond the norm. This is beyond the norm. Yeah, CDC wants to be reorganized now. They don't want to. They need help. After destroying the economy. It is very odd here. America. I guess, and at the same time, I said it yesterday to somebody. What was it? I was over at Carl's last night, and I said something about, I guess it was money coming into somewhere, and we were kind of like laughing at it. And I said to him, I guess being a, help this. See, so they supported CDC all the way. Time to pay for the piper. Help that. Yeah, I hear you. It was like one. I said, America's like really the last major. It's the largest country in the world. Financially the strongest country in the world, and the socialists are trying to flip it socialist, and it just doesn't have the tools to do that. I mean, they're trying to do it, and they're pissing away an enormous amount of money, $2 or $3 trillion. But then again, America seems to be able to get away with that. That's the weird part. So, I mean, it's the strangest thing. It's when you look at the fundamentals. See, I just got something through Dukascopy. Let me see what that says on my reacted to a message saying today you won't be streaming, right? Yeah, let me know. Okay, let's see what this is. Let me just take a quick look, make sure it's got nothing to do with me. But yeah, I just, like I said, every day I keep on thinking, well, they'll just shut their mouths for a month now or something, and we'll be, just looking at stocks and earnings and so forth, and then all of a sudden it just becomes another story again of the crazy. That's pretty much what it comes down to. All right, so from there we go over to the Canadian. Let's see what the Canadian's doing this morning. There's the CAD, and it's rising, so I imagine oil is going down, and that's exactly what the country wants, is that, for sure. And there's CAD, you can see it there on J4X. And you can see the Canadian there, and you can see the Canadian on our work. They're all pushing up, so we would have to assume, let's just check it out, but we have to assume that the oil market is heading back down again. And there is the spot, and it is. See it right there? It's heading down. So yesterday it settled at 90.38, and today, I don't know how it ended up as 90.38 with showing a high yesterday of 91.46. You can see today it's at 89.10, so it's down like a buck and change. Let's just go back and look at some of the back months. There is, let's see, show you October, which is going to take over as the front month now. There's October, and October oil doing the same thing, trading at 88.60. And where did I say the front month that expires today is trading at 89.09. So it's about 40-50 cent premium on it, or discount in the back month. And then let's take a look at, go a little bit further back. There's the November oil. You can see the same thing, trading in the 88s. They're all, the contango is collapsing. Everything is collapsing. It's amazing. It used to be $4 premiums there and $3 premiums. Now it's 40 cents. The markets are, like I said, there's a lot of interesting signals that are coming out of the markets. And let's see right there. Let's go to, from there what we do is we drift over to the South African Rand. Right. ZAR. I just saw it. There's ZAR. No. There it is right there. There's ZAR. And so this is rising, so we have to assume that gold is going down in value again. It's an interesting thing there. We keep on expecting to see, I guess we've gotten to a point, I guess this is the best way to describe it. We've gotten to a point with the fundamentals that they are elongated. In other words, they're stretched out much longer in providing direction. So in other words, you look at the inflation, we see the inflation, you can't hide that. You walk into a store, prices are higher, fuels are higher, everything's higher. I mean dramatically higher. And then, you have the government statistics, and the government statistics are trying to tell us that, yeah, we're in a recession, but that recession is because of government policy. And it's not because of, economics itself, or I guess, in other words, they keep on looking at the unemployment rate and going, well, things are pretty good, and we know that, people are being paid to not go to work, that type of thing, still somewhere along the line. In the future, use the speed of travel in space, information about space laws, like Pegasus horse. True. But, in the end result, what we're really seeing is that markets always have. They've always discounted things. They've always speculated, and people will be like, wow, now we know after a year and a half why they were buying that stock. I remember one time, a great example. I've used a couple of examples to describe this era. One is something called digital equipment. What digital equipment was in the 70s and the 80s was a networking company, a wireless networking company. Now imagine that in the 70s and the 80s. It got started in the 60s by a fellow out of MIT. His name was Olson. And the stock traded at like $200 a share throughout the 80s. And people would trade down to 197 and back up to like 220 and back down to 197. It had no earnings. It had no real growth. And everybody kept on trying to short it at times, and they just didn't understand it. They didn't understand, the whole, the whole logic behind it all. They really didn't. And a few of us understood it, and we knew that one day, wirelessness and information and internet will be, a main tool of our society. And the 90s came along, and Cisco Systems now is like, one of the majors in that area of wireless communications, and they bought digital equipment. They gobbled that up. Gobbled it right up. And so then you had a computer company. What was it? I'm trying to think of the name of it. I had a laptop from it and a couple of towers. But if I say the name, you'll go, oh, yeah, I remember that computer company. Then Cisco Systems bought that product. But for a couple decades, or at least 15 years, people didn't understand why digital equipment was able to hold a $200 value when it didn't have any earnings. And all they kept on doing is bettering their technology, better and better and better, and the next thing you know, there it was. We had the same situation with a what do they call it? A utility, Philadelphia Electric. For years, people discounted Philadelphia Electric, traded it at $17, $18 a share. They did the same thing with AT&T before they broke it up. AT&T was trading at $16, $17 a share. It ended up, splitting at like, breaking all the companies off of it at like about $128 a share. So markets anticipate. When they know that there's a win there, the big money locks in and doesn't let go, because they know that they're going to get what they've been investing in. They know that it's going to be profitable, and those particular ones like AT&T, the old Ma Bell, which was like a utility. It was a total monopoly on communications here in the States, and digital equipment. Again, a total monopoly on wireless. Totally a success story in the end. But the people were confused why it was sitting there at $200 most of the time. When we look at the market now, this is a very small discount when you really think about it in time. I mean, they're anticipating a major change in government, and they don't want to let go of it. And people are going like, where's the top at? This has got to be a top. They're going to sell this, and it's like, I don't think they're going to sell it. This is the same way digital equipment was, and it was the same way AT&T was. They're not going to let it. There goes again. Now they got another one. I have a whole different show on. And here they are. Politics is the Matt Schlapp, CPAC chairman. I mean, it doesn't go away. I can't run far enough from it. It just won't go away. It's here to stay until November 9th. It's here to stay. All right. From there, it. Let me just finish that take. And so, we look here at the South African rand, and obviously gold. Well, gold is actually up for the day. It looks like it's up for the day. Looks like it closed at 67 and it's trading at 70. It's $3 up. But the South African rand looks like that curve only on the reverse. It's running up. So that power and pressure is there, and you can see it right there on J4X, just pushing up. And gold itself is pushing down. We've been, again, if what I'm even closely suggesting is true, then the markets believe in essence, and the metals keep on telling it to us over and over, as much as we know the Federal Reserve is involved, is that this inflation is not here to stay. It's transit. They use the word transitory, and I have to say I've come to feel comfortable with that, because what it is that they think that it's only going to be here, a short period of time, the whole inflation. So in other words, they should have said it's transitory. It could jump 6, 7, 8 points, but it's not here to stay. They would have been better off doing that. Instead, again, the Federal Reserve loses credibility because of the lack of communications. In the end, they're probably going to be right. The inflation this time next year could be gone. Literally gone. Which will be very amazing, I guess you could say. But this is, like I said, it's strange times ahead. All right, let's go over to the yen. See what the yen is up to. Oh, where are you? There you are, right there. There's yen. You see the yen just pushing up. Dollars being bought. Right there. You see the same thing on J4X. Pushing up. Now, we are in a weekly sell. I'll trust the math. So, as much as we've been in a daily buy for the last 5 days, I do trust the math. And the math is or 4 days. And it's telling us that, whatever they're doing to this, until this gets into the weekly, maybe it'll do it. Maybe it'll get into the weekly buy there and then, go even firmer up. But right now, it's a neutral position. It had you short there. It's basically pushed you out of the door there. It's telling you that it wants to go up there. And, it's been a great, fantastic product and trade. Trading tool. All right, from there we'll go to south of the border and take a look at the Mexican peso. And it's doing its bounce off of the bottom end of the range again. And not much more than that. You can see it's still in a sell. Maybe it'll get into that buy next week. All right. All right. From there, that completes the pairs trades. If anybody wants to see a pairs trade, let us know. We're going to drift over to, there's gold. Let's go through the metals complex. So there's gold. Let's take a look at silver. There it is. All right. There's silver there on J4X. Trading at 1925. You see here, same situation. I don't think it's going to get into the weekly sell like gold. Neither of them are. And I think that pressure is still kind of amazing, I guess you could say, in the sense of that they're pressing it down, and we have, inflation. So, it's a very, we are in a, like I said, it's a very strange moment in American history. That's what it is. A very, very strange moment in American history. And I don't, honestly, I don't have much of an opinion more than it blows my mind. That's the only way to look at it. It blows my mind. It just doesn't stop. Yeah, it just keeps on. The beat goes on. The beat goes on, and that's how we're just going to have to, we'll watch our math. We'll report here every day of where these products are going. But when it comes to trying to use fundamentals and logic to all this stuff, forget it. Not going to happen. It's just not working. And as much as we know that they should act differently, they're not. They're trapped, and there is no way to deal with it more than the way we've described. Let's go take a peek at it. I think you're right, but in spite of that, my blank still puckers up. That's from a trader where I said to him, Rabini is like a broken clock. He just texted back, always right twice a day, and wrong 60 seconds times 60 minutes times 24 hours. Meaning that he's wrong 84,400 times minus 2 seconds. So wrong 86,398. That was my answer to him. I just don't. Trying to follow fundamentals at this point in time. When you see, like you see on the screen there, silver trading at 19 and change, with a 8.5, 9.5, 3-month average of inflation of around 12 or 13%, with a 12-month average of about 8.5%. So, if you can't get these metals to budge during that type of economic environment, then we obviously are in some type of transitory crazy. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. Is it's like a transitory crazy. And I don't know how else to look at it. It's a transitory crazy for sure. All right. From there, just got another text. Basically, there we go. Let me just answer that. Surprises. So, from there, we'll go take a look at copper and see what they're up to at this point in copper. It is in a buy. Let's see. There is copper. You see 2 days in a buy. I mean, as much as the economic problems in China are going on, which we always think is the engine to copper, at this point in time, copper seems to be perking up. Maybe they're doing the same exact thing. They sold it down to low threes. Where's it at? There it is on J4X. So they sold it down into the low threes from this slide from the over $5 area. So it dropped almost $2. I guess that reflects the Chinese economy more than anything else. I mean, this could be the 1, 2. This could be 3, 4, and a massive extension 5. And then maybe it's then this is like a big A, and then this will be a B, and it might stall out. Maybe it'll climb to 4. I was amazed how copper fell through the $4 area and never even looked back. That was the amazing part. I thought for sure it was going to turn and move back up again, copper, but it didn't. It just kept on falling. It could be literally the cash needed in China at the moment. China's in really dire straits financially. So as much as they're trying to stop Mr. Trump's policies, they're having a hard time doing that. It just so the same policy that, to a great extent, that's Mr. Trump enacted on China is kind of still there. So the colony itself is really angry. It's running its boats around different, all around their waters, firing rockets and pretending that it's going to attack somebody and so forth. They're really angry, but they financially can't afford to get involved in anything really. And at the same time, if they do, it's kind of like the old classic, one shot once. That's about it. All right, from there we'll take a look at platinum. Platinum came in, it's got like the 4th week or 5th week in a weekly buy. And, when it came into the weekly buy in the 870 or 60 area, it ran to 974. And it was up over $100. And we saw the strength in the other metals complex. So that is the end of the week. It looks like it's going to hold up in that weekly buy with no problem. We'll see how next week comes along. See if we get some type of strength out of it. Now let's take a look at the energy sector. And as we said, there's the month we're going to remove. Matter of fact, I might as well put October in there today, because at this point, this is this is expiring today. So Monday you'll be seeing all the other October will be the front month, and we'll probably be showing you December instead of November. What else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. Let's put Brent up on the screen. There it is right there. I thought it was at 98 yesterday. They brought it down a little bit. 97, 98 yesterday. $97.30, basically 97 and change yesterday. You see, it's trying to turn up in here, and you can see us. The U.S. oil is also in a daily buy, but unfortunately, it's in that weekly sell. So the strength is kind of fleeting. We see the oil prices coming down, but that's because I'll tell you this: you can see it on the roads around here. Less cars on the roads, less people, out and about. People are having to make the choice between buying fuel or buying food. So, obviously, we're nowhere near as dire as Europe. With that 20. What did we saw in the here in the States? You can see the natural gas is trading at almost $9 now. It's come down from $9.60. But we saw, let's show you European natural gas. We saw, let's see, where's it at? Will we ever really see, let's see, where's it at? Is it there? I think that's the natural gas in Europe. We were at 29 and change yesterday, almost 30. And they've seemed to have calmed down. And again, I'll throw this out at you. If this political stuff, occurs, what's going to happen is we will be supplying Europe with natural gas by not December, but by January and February. So, all right, where do we go from here? Let's just throw up the intraday. There's the intraday of the three stock indices. NQs are down, and this is the Tech 100 down 134 right now. That's a good little push. Dow Jones Industrial Average down about 175, and the S&P 500 down about 31. So it's not the worst. And around a long time. There we are. So when it comes to looking at the stock indices, you can see here that the pressure, I mean, we're up for the week. So this, I mean, it's not like they're taking the money out of it. Let's take of the daily charts. Here, let's do this. Let's put the S&P 500 over here on Chicago Quant. No, J4X. Let's start off with J4X there. See it there? So you can see, there's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So you can see we're higher still for the week. And when we look at it over here on Chicago Quant, again, you see it. There is Monday right there. Is that? Yeah, that's Monday. There's Friday. We're just a little underneath it now. So Friday, it's settled at 4,280, and right now it's trading at 4,255. That's not exactly panic and run. You can see we're flirting with the daily sell. See that right there? You got a little red line in there, and you can see the pressures on it right there. But we're not really seeing anything more than that. When coming to the Tech 100, let's take a look at that. You see it closed Friday at 13,580. Right now it's trading basically at 13,400. It's like 390 and change. Not there, right there. There it is. And so you can see the pressure there. It is trying. They don't really have, like I said, now this is really on the edge, but the weekly is not. And you can see the pressure right there. Dow Jones Industrial Average is a couple of days. I think this is the second or third day. This is the third day, I guess it is, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. Right there, and you can see that is actually, it's still firm. It's trying to get into a sell today too. There we go. All right, so that's the stock indices. You can see the natural pressure on them at the moment, which is almost minuscule when you really think about it. Here we are. Check this out. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 165 points. When we started the webinar, the product was down 265 points. So when we started this webinar, let's put that up there. You'll be able to see it. When we started the webinar at 7:30, right before 7:30, there was the low of 3,700. We are now at 3,813. So I don't have any other clear explanation why we see this consistent low hum of a buying market. But it's there, and there's no stopping it. It's been there for a couple months now. And our weekly, let's go back to that daily and weekly. And what's this going to go on? It's going on to us, the S&Ps are going to go on to a 7th week starting Monday. And we don't see any real weakness there. I wonder, this is a 3.5. Let's take a look at the Echo. Let's see where the blue dashed line is. We can see it's plus. There we are. You can see there, it's it's still plus. It's not even mine. It's just banging against the manifold. So, it's for people to think that they can trade this market fundamentally. The fundamental of the fact that the markets are looking at something most people are not seeing. That's what the fundamentals are telling us. And there's no stopping it. It just keeps on rolling. So, traders, all I can suggest is, I guess, if nothing else, there'll be some noise. I mean, next week is what is it called? Jackson Hole. So next week is Jackson Hole in Wyoming, where all the world bankers get together and all the big CEOs across the planet get together, and they discuss markets, and they discuss future outlooks and so forth. That will be somewhat of a input, I would assume. But, overall, I think that everything is superseded by the election. I don't think there's any other way to basically look at it than that. So we're out of here. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. We will catch you all on Monday. So happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart one there. Ta-ta.